Hello! Welcome to another edition of Barça Fan Voice. Today I'm going to be looking back at Barça's narrow 1-0 victory over Real Sociedad on Saturday, which, following Madrid's 2-1 defeat at Betis yesterday, leaves us 2 points clear at the top of the Liga again, with 11 games to go. But of course Madrid have the superior head-to-head goal difference. I'll also be talking about VAR, of course, as it played a big part in Saturday's victory. I'll also be looking at Jordi Alba's reaction and comments after the game. But before that, I'd like to give a quick update. You've probably all heard about Ronaldinho, who's, after being released initially for trying to enter Paraguay with a false passport, was then rearrested and has now been put in prison for 6 months. It's a terrible thing for the great man. Very, very sad. We just have to hope he's got good lawyers who can, I'm sure, I don't know if he has, but let's hope he can, sort that out. We'll go on to the game with Real Sociedad. We began with a rather strange atmosphere again. Of course, following the defeat in the Clásico, it was always going to be a little bit of there was always going to be a reaction perhaps from the crowd against the team. But of course, the main reaction is still against Bartomeu, who, when he came out, got whistled again. There were chants of Bartomeu dimisión, Bartomeu resign. We'll see. Will they bring forward elections? I don't know. Anyway, back to the game. Real Sociedad proved to be a very good opponent. They came in a very good moment of form. They just arrived to the Copa del Rey final, having beaten Mirandés, and they were on a run of 6 games, 6 straight victories. Their coach, Imanol Alguacil, made 6 changes to the side that beat Mirandés. They brought in youngsters such as Gorosabel, these last names very complicated. Gorosabel, Guevara came in, and the youngster 18-year-old and Barrenechea, who played on the left wing. And the first 5 minutes, Real looked the better side. Barça suffered Ter Stegen's kicking. I don't know what's happened. Kicking into touch, kicking to players who are tightly marked, and they lose possession. He got charged down by Alexander Isaac. That could have, caused a big embarrassment there. It's all in the first 5 or 6 minutes, and Real were looking the better team. Barça, well, we hadn't really seen Messi. Didn't appear until the 9th minute, when he set up the first chance for Martin Braithwaite, and we saw that explosive speed, the directness, straight past the defender, got a shot in, saved at the near post. 5 minutes later, same combination. Messi puts a ball through behind the defence, Braithwaite's onto it, gets past the Llorente, I think he got past, but again the finish was a little bit weak. He was off balance and shot straight at the goalkeeper. However, apart from Braithwaite, the first 30 minutes was disappointing. Then Messi began to get a bit more involved, chasing down Llorente by the corner flag to rob him, keeping the ball in, turning back inside, playing a 1-2 with Busquets, who put a lovely ball over the top. Messi was stretching, couldn't quite get enough on his volley to give the keeper problems. Then Messi had a heavy touch from the Jordi Alba low cross, which he'd normally do better from. And then the best moment of the first half came with a great combination. Alba passed into Braithwaite, touched it off to De Jong, touched it off to Messi. Messi's low shot went just wide. And that was about the best of the first half. A disappointing first half. And the second half started the same way as the first half started. We were giving the ball away. Jordi Alba gave the ball away. Lenglet gave the ball away, all in the first 5 minutes. Then the game opened up. Messi began to have half chances again. There was a fierce drive from Rakitic, which forced a great save from Real Sociedad goalkeeper Ramiro. Then one of the turning points in the game, I thought, was when Oyarzabal came on for Real Sociedad in the second half, with about half an hour to go. and he began to play a big part in the game. He came on for the youngster Barrenechea, and Real left the left side open for Nacho Monreal to get forward, and this started to cause Barca problems. However, we survived a weak penalty shout. It was outside the area. Griezmann's push on Monreal, and then with about 10 minutes to go, we had the moment that changed the game, the VAR decision for the handball from Le Normand. Now, as far as I'm concerned, modern technology in sport is, all to be encouraged if it improves the games. We've seen it in many sports where it's improved the games. In football, goal line technology, fantastic. I've got no complaints. You can have a goal ruled out because it's 1 millimetre, it didn't cross the line. Fine, no problem. It's a fair decision. Whatever, you can't complain about it. But with VAR, it's very subjective again. I don't think the problem is entirely VAR's fault, even though pulling back the game 2 minutes after an event is not perfect, of course. I think a lot of the problem is also the amount of changes they've made to the laws of the game, and especially the handball laws. We saw with this penalty, the ball's hit the guy on the top of the arm around here. He's leaning in for a header. He does it, he misjudges it a bit, and the ball hits him on the arm. It was in our favour today, or on Saturday rather, but it's not something that seemed very fair. When I was growing up, handball had to be deliberate. You had to be looking for an advantage. You were stopping a goal, you were stopping a pass, you were cutting out a cross. And today there are handballs given, deflections, the ball bounces up, it hits the guy on the arm. And a lot of the time, players can't keep their arms completely against their side. And what is a natural position for the arm? And it's all subjective. And this comes down to somebody now sitting in a studio to decide. I think it's got too strict, especially with the handballs. The offsides, it's the second goal for what would have been the second goal for Barca, Jordi Alba's goal, which we'll come back to. Ansu Fati was given offside by a centimetre or two, maybe. It was a toe, half a toe. For many years this was considered, in line. If you couldn't see daylight between the defender and the attacker. And it goes back to the idea of VAR being for clear and obvious decisions, or clear and obvious mistakes. And a lot of these things, they're not clear and obvious mistakes. They're very, very close calls. And I don't think the game is benefiting by these decisions being overruled on such close calls. Anyway, it's it was in our favour today, and we'd have been very upset if that had gone against us. There was also a controversy because some people claimed, well, Arturo Vidal was in an offside position when the initial free kick was taken that led to the penalty. The ball didn't arrive immediately to Vidal, but you could argue that the defender played the ball because it would have arrived to Vidal otherwise. I wonder if Barca had scored from Vidal's cross instead of the handball, would VAR have gone back and given Vidal offside? I'm not sure. I know there was a lot of controversy over whether it would have been given offside or whether it was offside or not. There are positional offsides like this when the player then comes into play that it is given offside. But because it was a handball, they don't take the game back to look at the offside, which is fine. You could take the game back and see, was it really a free kick to lead to the cross that came to Vidal being offside? And this is again one of the problems with VAR. How far do you take it back? There needs to be a lot of work done on it. It's in the early stages. Maybe it will get better. Maybe we'll accept it. But at the moment, it's a no for VAR from me. Go on to the after-match comments. Gerard Piqué came out and said that the players were not angry with Eder Sarabia over the controversy from last week's behaviour on the touchline at the Bernabeu and the lip reading. Piqué knows this, it was normal behaviour. He could understand how the club might be worried about their image, but it's not the players who are worried about that. Then they understand it's a totally natural thing. So all the stuff about the players being angry with Sarabia, as I said last week, was pure speculation. I didn't rule out the possibility that it could be true, but it seems that it's not. I understand that Piqué wouldn't come out and say, yes, we're angry live on television. He knows about a little bit about diplomacy, but it seems that that was all a big nothing. The idea that there's a split between the players and Sarabia. Then we had Jordi Alba's comments after the game, which were a bit more controversial. And after the game, he said, "No one likes to play poorly or how we're playing at the moment. But I don't like it when in the 15th minute, with the score goalless, there are whistles. No one likes it when the fans go against you, especially in your own stadium. Our attitude is good and all the players are giving everything out on the pitch. I'm not going to hide. Just as I respect everyone, they also have to respect me." Well, Jordi Alba, you could say he's partly he's critical about the team and the way they're playing, and obviously there's an understanding there that they need to improve. I don't think there were particularly big. The whistles that were very audible, certainly through the television, were before the game for Bartomeu. I didn't notice it on the 15th minute. It's possible, of course, people show a bit of frustration, but they have a right. People have a right to. They pay a lot of money to go to these games, and Jordi Alba should realise that that's how he earns such a big wage packet. Anyway, not the best comments from Jordi Alba. So going back to Piqué's comments about Sarabia and the players not being angry, there was a poll run by one of the Catalan TV channels that asked people if they were happy or not with Sarabia's actions at the Bernabeu. 92% of fans supported Sarabia. It's a strange thing that the new heroes of the fans are Sarabia and Martin Braithwaite. Both show passion. This is what the fans want to see. And we've not really seen that much of it recently. It's strange, but after watching Barca on Saturday, I was not too confident about the chances of going on to win the league this season. And then, of course, yesterday, Sunday, Madrid put in a performance at Betis that made you think they can't possibly win the league with that team. So do either of the big giants of Spanish football want the league this season? Do either of them deserve it? What do you think? Send us a comment. Other talking points would be Martin Braithwaite. Now, obviously, there's a lot of positives there. His connection with the fans, his speed, his directness, his aggression, all very positive. However, he had a disappointing second half. We haven't seen his finishing yet, so the jury's still out. I'm still wondering whether he might be better used as a late substitute, or a last 20-minute substitute to come on and use his pace against tiring defences. Because the first 20 minutes he looked great. First half he was good, put on a good touch in that build-up for Messi's chance, but I'm not as convinced as some people. We'll see. I wish him all the luck. He's certainly built a good connection with the fans to begin, which is not an easy thing to do. Other talking points is Rakitic, of course. I know he's receiving a lot of criticism. I've always been a big Rakitic fan. I recognise he's not at his best. He was very imprecise in the first half, especially yesterday. It does sadden me, though, some of the level of the criticism, the disrespect for the man, who's done a great job for us since signing in 2014. It's one of our best signings in the last decade, I would argue. Scored the opening goal in the Champions League final. Scored last year's winner at the Bernabeu. Give the guy a break. The club treated him very poorly over the summer. I think, he's an emotional guy. He probably, he was affected by that, and he's probably affected by the behaviour of some of the fans now towards him. I think he deserves a little bit more respect. Anyway, I'll be back on Wednesday. There's a chance I won't be back on Wednesday. I should apologise for the sound quality. I know it's a problem. I am in the process of sorting it out. I had a setback. I got a new microphone, but it looks like I'm going to have to get a new computer. I'll probably do that tomorrow. Hopefully get it installed and all be ready to be back on Wednesday. But if I'm not, it's probably because I'm sorting it out, and I'll be back on Friday if you don't hear from me on Wednesday. Okay, folks, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I need all the support I can get. Send us a comment. We need some feedback. Any questions you've got, I'd love to hear them. It would be good to do a Q&A sometime soon. Okay, well, as I say, either Wednesday or Friday I'll be back. Until then, Bisco Barça. Bye for now.